Hello and welcome to HR Talk, People Management's regular discussion about topics making the news in the HR world. I'm Michelle Stevens and this week we'll be talking about apprenticeships. Apprentice numbers are already on the rise, but the government has just announced new plans to make it easier for businesses to employ them. To discuss the issue, I'm joined by Graham Hoyle, Chief Executive of the Association of Employment and Learning Providers. Graham, why is it important for the government to market apprenticeships to both employers and school leavers, as opposed to other methods of career progression or training?
Well, I'm not sure it's as opposed to, and I think it would be quite wrong if the government were to be promoting one form of ongoing learning education from 16 onwards as opposed to the others. So I think it has to be comprehensive and complete. So I'd rather look at it as why is it important to promote apprenticeships as well as university higher education, and that's certainly what's happening. And in fact, I think there has been an underplaying of the importance and the availability of apprenticeships, especially through the schooling system, which has for some years now been focused on getting your A-levels and getting to university, which is fantastic, but it's still a fantastic route for the minority of young people. And I think it's absolutely critical that the majority of young people are very, very clear about what apprenticeships can offer, and that employers are also made very, very clear about what apprenticeships can offer them as well. So it's not opposed to, it's as well as, and very important.
So, as well as reducing red tape for businesses, how else can the government encourage the creation of apprenticeship programmes, particularly in SMEs?
Well, I think there's two things here. The overall one, and I think this is a responsibility of government, and one I believe they are taking seriously and wanting to do more, and that is to actually put to employers of all sizes, and I think whether it's SMEs or large really doesn't matter, but to put to them the evidence which is now has been gleaned to demonstrate how important apprenticeships are to employers for their bottom line profitability and so on. There's clear evidence that the return on the investment of an apprenticeship makes absolute sense for employers large and small. And most apprentices actually work for SMEs. There's an awful lot of SMEs that haven't got them, and we need to go for them. But in actual fact, apprenticeships are still mainly an SME activity. The actual numbers in the large companies is still a comparatively small proportion of the whole. So I think the main thing the government can do is to really push the firm evidence from employers who've used them, demonstrating how effective that investment and that use has been.
Many apprenticeship places have gone to people in the over 25 age group. GCSE and A-level results were published a few weeks ago. So what can employers do to promote apprenticeships to school leavers?
Well, I think, again, this is very important, and I touched on this earlier on. The majority of school leavers will be entering work pretty well immediately, going straight into work. They may do some further education at a college maybe, but they're basically getting ready to enter the world of work as opposed to going on through further higher education. So it's absolutely critical that the majority of youngsters are fully aware that this work-based route, this employer-based route, this pay-as-you-learn route is fully available to them. I think we're getting better at that, but we're not good enough yet. And we've got to make sure that all youngsters and their parents recognise this is a high-quality route which offers very, very real career returns and an opportunity for them to make their way in life and at work. Very, very critical. We have not done enough of that in the past.
And there has been some criticism about the surge in the number of level 2 apprenticeships. Are you concerned about the quality or subjects on offer?
Well, not because it's level 2. The whole point of apprenticeships, and sometimes we do forget this, and see it as a government programme. Apprenticeships have been around not for decades, but for centuries. And until very recently, apprenticeships were the sole domain of employers and the apprentices. In fact, it's not so very long ago, apprentices paid to be an apprentice. That's started to ease off not so long ago, but it's very much paid for by employers and designed by employers. And only recently have the government got more actively involved and put some very well received and helpful funding in. But it's not a government programme. It is a form of training necessary for employers. And they have actually got to design and do design programmes which are fit for use in their sector. There's a lot of sectors where at the present time the core need is for level 2 performance. Lots of level 3, and that will grow. We have to move. Lots of level 4, and we're now doing level 4 apprenticeships, not before time. But we have to realise that an apprenticeship is training someone to do the job that is required within an employer, within an industry. There's an awful lot at level 2, and therefore we have to have apprenticeships at that level. It's not poor quality, it is fit for purpose. Over time, in a high technological world, we are seeing the demand going from level 2 up towards level 3, and we must make sure that we follow that demand, in fact get ahead of it. But I do hear an awful lot, some reservations that level 2 apprenticeships aren't real apprenticeships or aren't really necessary. That is wrong. Employers saying that's what they need, that's what we must train people to do, that's what we're doing.
Graham, thank you for joining me today. That's all for this week, but keep up to date with the latest HR news on our website, peoplemanagement.co.uk. Until next time, take care.